Okay, so let's start with the first. Why is clean air so difficult?
All right. So,
air quality is very difficult because the Clean Air Act is one of the most complex statutes that we have on the books.
air pollution is a really tricky problem to solve because it's something that people can't see oftentimes. They don't know who to call if there's an issue, and it's not really clear who's in charge of solving the problem.
Growing up in Oregon, we always are made to believe that the air is super clean out here. We have all these trees, we take care of our nature. But then once that report came, it was a huge eye-opener to how things weren't right.
The state of Oregon hasn't passed any major environmental legislation in decades. We're really behind a lot of our neighbors in making choices at a legislative level that protect the people who live here.
My work is scientific, so I study air pollution and we make measurements and we try to understand how the different sources interact and where they come from.
Well, one thing I can tell you about my community and their experience with air quality is it's really hard to understand what the cumulative impacts are to our community and what they're really going through.
One of the pollutants that is not regulated by the Clean Air Act that is actually affecting people in the Portland area is diesel particulate. So we set out to try and understand the model that DEQ had put out about diesel particulate matter in the city. So we drove around with instruments to try to make measurements, and what we were surprised about was that when we drove by construction equipment, it was really high.
Within the Clean Air Act, these hotspots are referred to as indirect sources, so locations that are drawing diesel engines to that one location. So for example, a construction site where you have your backhoe and all this other diesel-powered equipment all coming to this one location. That creates this almost like a point source, like you would think of a smokestack or even like a pipe.
Multnomah County in Oregon has fourth worst air quality because of diesel pollution in the entire country. That really hits home. And what does that mean? It means we have a lot of kids who have asthma. It means that people are dying younger. It means that people are not as healthy as they could be. And it's an issue that affects you and your children, your families. So that's something people can really wrap their arms around.
I became concerned with air quality when I moved to North Portland almost 10 years ago. And at that point I became concerned about the health of my newborn son who I just had.
The interesting thing about diesel particulate matter is that not only is it the leading cause of cancer toxicity in the Portland area, but it also happens to be a substance that contributes to global warming.
I'm so excited about Breathe Oregon. It's a collaboration between Neighbors for Clean Air, the Institute for Sustainable Solutions at Portland State University, and Northwest Environmental Defense Center at Lewis and Clark College that have joined forces to identify solutions to the really complex problem of harmful air pollution. It's going to allow us to start looking forward, to identify solutions that can help really unpack this issue in a way that we've never done before.
At the end of the day, air pollution is a health problem. It affects people's quality of life. And so when we have these really tough problems to solve, working together in this really important collaboration has made all the difference.
I'm very happy to be part of the Breathe Collaborative because, as I said, my work is scientific, but that's just a science.
Breathe Oregon is really attempting to actually get at the type of information that is going to help people make decisions, not just bury them in data and make it seem more complex, actually to do the opposite, to inform good decision making. In just over a year, with the launch of Breathe Oregon, we are already so pleased to see how getting really targeted, grounded, evidence-based information out into the realm of decision makers can make a difference. We're seeing local governments take more action, be more aggressive and confident about where they can actually take action to improve the air quality in our neighborhoods.
I think that this partnership has been successful to date because we've been able to frame a really complex problem in a really personal way. And I think because we've had some successes, it shows us what we can do when we work together. When we take the best parts of our community working together, we can solve anything.
This is not a problem that lacks information. We have all the information we need to solve this problem. What we really need is to have more people showing up, demanding action, demanding that their health be a priority, demanding that their lives be taken seriously as a priority in Oregon.